Man, what's good, everybody? This is your boy Lucky Loco out here hustling, chilling. As you can tell, I'm out here on the food truck. So let's go ahead and get into this one. This one is about my homeboy Kenny. Yes, Kenny in Colorado. Who killed Kenny? Well, check it out, man. My homeboy Kenny, he's old school, man. When I went in there, he was old school. I always seen him around. I always seen him getting in the mix. I always seen him, really just minding his own business, man. And the one thing about Kenny is he didn't like white supremacists. He didn't like any of the white gangs that are in there. He was a white dude, but I guess he was different from the supremacists. I guess he was Polish, because I remember one guy coming up and asking him, he's like, "Hey man, are you a Polak?" And he's like, "Yeah, why, what's up, motherfucker? You got a problem?" Boo, 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 boo. And dude just didn't like the white supremacist dudes. And but I seen Kenny around. He was around for maybe like about a year and a half before I really got to know him or talk to him, man. Turns out Kenny was a Chomos nightmare. Like, anybody that was like an SO, he would move into their cell, he would extort them, take their stuff, eat their food. And I remember, man, just coming up and he was like, "Hey man, you want something to eat? Go ahead and go in there and go grab something from my bin." And go in there and go grab something to eat. And I remember Selly coming by, and I was like, "Man, why are you living with that dude?" He's like, "Man, I'm getting papered up with this dude. I'm getting that money." So Kenny's Kenny's eating I'm eating Skittles, and he's eating like some kind of M&Ms or something, and the guy walks by and he's like, "Oh hey Kenny, you got some food, huh? You finally got some food?" And he's like, "Yep, sure do." So Kenny's taking his dude's food, and he's really he comes out and he was just kind of like looking at us, and I was like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, go ahead and move that TV down on the bottom bunk right there." He goes, "I'm gonna watch something tonight." He's like, "And don't you touch my TV." So homeboy listens. And then come to find out, Kenny's been beating him. He's been torturing. And Kenny's telling me about this stuff, right? So Kenny's getting his food, Kenny's getting his TV, Kenny's making him wash his clothes, Kenny's really mistreating this guy. So he's over there beating this guy, and the guy's trying to scream, but Kenny's stuffing his mouth with toilet paper. He's like, oh. So he's really mistreating this Chomo, right? So I come to find out why he keeps moving in with him. And that wasn't the first one. There's this one guy, we're in, for anybody that's been in Buena Vista, bro, there's a place called Lower North. That's where they moved to LOP. Loss of privileges. When you get in trouble, you catch a ride-up, lose your job, don't go to work, get in a fight, just get out of the hole. That's what they put you in. Loss of privilege. So we're in LOP, Lower North. It's open cells. There's 2 tiers. There's 2 people per cell. And these cells are tiny. So what does Kenny do? He moves in with the SO. He starts torturing the guy. And so homeboy, he was getting into dude's head. He was like, "Hey, Troy Lass." He's out in Colorado. He's like, "Hey, Troy Lass," takes it in the, as you can tell, he runs. So dude finally gets tired of it, and he can hear it. Dude's like, "Hey man, don't be talking to me like that. I don't want to be called Troy Lass," takes it in the, and so he said, "What?" And you can hear him get up, and he starts thumping this other Chomo. And he was just giving him the business. And Barlow's an older guy, but he's got hands. He grew up in the system. And he's telling me stories about juvenile, being in there since 9-10 years old, the crimes he's committed, in and out. And so you hear him beating him. And there's open cells. So if you've been in the Lower North out there, you can hear it. It's open bars. And then the guy's like, "Okay, stop. And he goes, "Okay, now yell out the tier." And he made, "What?" He was like, "You want me to keep beating you? Yell out the tier." So homeboy, he goes, yells out he tells him, he goes, "Hey man, yell out there, my name's Troy Lass." So he yells out the tier for everybody, "My name's Troy Lass." And now say, I take it in the, and then so he's like, "What, really?" And he goes, "Yeah." And you can hear him like thump him a couple times. And he's like, okay. He goes, "Then I take it in the So this goes on for a couple days. You can hear him that he's making up stories. He's like, yeah, man, did you know Troy Lass used to be a dog catcher? He's making up all these stories about Troy Lass. You know, he used to be a dog catcher on the street. He has pictures of these dogs he caught. He goes, and I don't know, he was a funny guy, man. You had to be there. So as time goes on, you know, dude gets out of LOP and goes back to the main line or wherever Chomos go. So my celly, me and him were native dudes, and he was like my celly, he gets out of LOP and goes back to the main line. So I'm in there, and Troy was like, hey man, can I move in with you? And Troy, being, man, that dude was so funny. I was in there, I was celled up with him for like about maybe 2 weeks. Dude had coffee connections. He was stealing stuff out of the kitchen. He would steal stuff from. He would go take people's radios, and you know, because you're not allowed to have your TV or whatnot. And being a Vista on weekends, we were able to listen to oldies, country. You know, it was inmates running the R&B channel was Sunday, the hip hop was Saturday, rock was Friday, and it was, man, it was lit. Like the radio station, I was like, man, because you get it. And we'd listen to the music, man. But yeah, not Troy Lass, Kenny, man, he was a character, bro. He was a Chomos nightmare. He would extort him, he'd beat him, and then they'd come to the thing, but Kenny was beating him with phone books. And so when they come in and they're like, hey Kenny, are you really beating that guy up? And he was like, what? Go look at him, see if he's got any marks or anything. So Kenny's over here beating them up, and they're like, okay, well, you know, not too many people want to live with these type of characters. So they knew that, you know, if they moved him in with the supremacist dude's going to get him. If you move him with anybody else, they're going to get him. But the only safe haven was Kenny. But Kenny would take your food, he would take your snacks, he took dude's TV. It was just, man, he sold it. Some dude paid him like I think it was like $40 for like a 200. I think it was about $200 for see-through TV in there. And he sold it for like $40. Dude took it, went walking away, he put it in his cell. And for like the longest, finally when Kenny was wild. Kenny was always fighting. So he would, I was going to the chow hall, and Kenny was in there, and then all I heard was, dude, because I'd see him, I'd be like, hey, what's up, bro? Because I really grew up on with this dude. I really dug his style. He was just funny dude, man. And so Kenny was like, oh, hey, what's up, man? And next thing you know, you hear Kenny just sit down and no, he was walking to go sit down, and all you see was Kenny just bam hit the dude with the tray. Food's flying everywhere. Kenny's on top of this guy, handling him, beating his ass. And so Kenny is getting into these altercations. So the next day, the same dude, he did, you know, and everybody knows the cardinal rules. Even people who's never been to prison has never called somebody a B. Like, I'm even uncomfortable saying it now, like calling somebody a bitch. I don't do it unless I'm ready to fight or die. You know what I mean? So this dude, he got out of CSP. So he gets out, and he was like, he told this dude, Red Dog, I don't know if you guys know him, but Red Dog, he went to go sit down, and he was sitting in Red Dog's seat, and man, that's what happened. I asked Kenny, he was like, what happened? He was calling people to be, he was like, man, this is my seat now, bitch. And that's when Kenny went off. Like I said, he's just an old school convict. And so Red Dog, he comes up and he's like, hey, you're in my seat. And that dude's like, it was your seat, bitch. And Red Dog goes off, piecing him up. Bop, 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 bop. But that big guy, that one that was called him a bitch, got up and started handling him. So bam, you know, starts knocking Red Dog out. He's a little white dude, little pocket-sized Nazi, but he's about his business. So getting out of the chow hall, I remember, and it's been a minute. It's been about maybe like 2 months. So as I'm going to the chow hall, and the guy who uses that language was in front of me. No, he was a couple people behind me. Yeah, he was a couple people behind me. And I was like, oh shit, what's up, Red Dog? They let you out? He was like, oh, hey, what's up, homeboy? And then he was, because we were walking in, and he was coming, like, we're walking out of the chow hall, and he's coming in, and then homeboy pulls out his thing and gets to business. Boom, boom, boom. Starts getting this guy in his face. Dude's up against the wall. Didn't fight back. He was just sitting there screaming real loud. He's getting poked all over. And Red Dog was like, man, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. So, you know, that's just a little story I wanted to tell you about my buddy Kenny Barlow, man. He's a homeboy. He's definitely, I really appreciate that dude, man. He was, like I said, he was a Chomos nightmare. So comment, let me know if you know anybody else like that. I got a couple other stories if you want to hear them about the Pinta Band, a couple other things, man. You know, I just been working, hustling, trying to figure out a game plan on how to further my career in the A&B Native American cuisine. Getting these Indian tacos out, man. Let me know.